Some countries in Africa have started getting rid of anything that has got to do with their colonizers. And just recently, Mali have started changing all the names of their streets, their public establishments, and all their squares that bear French colonial names. Now, just Wednesday, the government of Mali has changed 25 names of streets and public establishments in their capital, Bamako, that bear any colonial name. Instead, they have replaced it with the name of their national heroes. According to the government of Mali, this is to decolonize the minds of their people and also to pay tribute to their national figures who have paved way for the country. Mali joined Niger and Burkina Faso, who started this journey 2 years ago. Now already, Mali has dropped French as the official language and they are looking to decrease the usage of it in the country. Now, which African country do you think is going to be the next?
All praises, honor, and glory unto the Most High, Yahweh Basham Yahweh Basham Rakakwadash, double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone, and salutations to all you sincere Akiam. And this is your brother Abawan back again with another video through the spirit and power of Yahweh Basham Yahweh Basham Rakakwadash, all praises and glory is due. And this is a little bit of in the local news, right? The news your mainstream media would never report on. Because while CNN, Fox, and all your other MSN platforms are focused on whatever it is they are focused on, it's never ever only just one thing. We have the orbs, right? The UFO drones. I think they even stopped talking about that, trying to get it out of people's minds, especially when you had an unplanned, shooting down of one of said drones, right? But what I'm actually talking about here is the case of Esau's kingdom coming to an end, and you are seeing that more and more clearly that Esau's kingdom is coming to an end, and the fact that Esau is losing power, okay, in the global stage. And that's why you had the situation that you currently had in West Africa a few weeks back, where you had all these different West African nations basically kick Esau's standing army out of their nations: Mali, France, Burkina, it's like a Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, Senegal, Chad, right? All these different nations kicking out the French government and kicking out the French army from their borders, right? And not just just the French army and not just the French army, but really rejecting basically Esau Edom and their rulership. Okay, that's basically what you're seeing happening in a lot of countries here in West Africa. Because even just recently, and I didn't really put that in this video, but it's also a part of the information about how the both the Niger and Mali government have been issuing warrants for the arrest of various quote unquote CEOs that are basically the CEOs of mining companies that have operations in Mali and Niger of West Africa. I believe one of those mining CEOs was actually detained and arrested, and the other one just has a warrant out for his arrest. And the reason why that is happening is because once again, Esau Edom is losing the power, right? And all the nations are beginning to see just how weak Esau is. After all, it's not you, Edomites, and your military analysts and so on and so forth, right? Your military analysts, all your Chaldeans, your soothsayers, your monthly prognosticators that are all even going as far as to say that the United States Army cannot win in an armed conflict against, any of the other superpowers that exist, whether it's Russia or China. You have Russia with far more advanced military technology than the United States by orders of magnitude. And then you have China, that not only is it a powerful military in its own right, but it is certainly allied with Russia via BRICS. And even BRICS in and of itself is another big thing that is leading to the downfall of Esau Edom, right? The downfall of this beast system, basically. Let's continue. Let me just read this same precept right here. Isaiah 14, verse 9. Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It hath raised up from their throne all the kings of the nations. Right. And basically what this means is that Esau's kingdom is coming to an end, and once the kingdom falls, this devil will fall into hell. right? Hell being a condition and not a place. So Esau's power is about to go down, and Esau is about to lose his power, right? He's about to lose his rulership because we are coming into those times. We are coming into the end of Esau's rulership. And that's what they are seeing with nations being able to rise up against Esau. And where have you, where would you hear, the other nations, where would you hear a nation, especially here in West Africa, basically telling Esau to pack it up and get the fuck out, right? Because that's exactly what, you know, Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, Senegal, and Chad did. They kicked out all the French armies that were in their country, and also the US armies as well, because what you'll find out is that the French army was being supported heavily by the United States army, and that's where the horror of Babylon comes in, right? The great horror of Babylon the Great, because what were those armies there to do? You already know. That's basically to push and further the agenda of the elites of Esau Edom. That's why the scriptures call Babylon the Great the harlot, because these Babylonians, right? America, Babylon the Great has its hands in the affairs of all different nations. Okay, so now Isaiah 14 verse 11, thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and thy noise and the noise of thy vows, the worm is spread under thee, and the worm cover thee. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? Hold on. Salakia. I went too far. I went too far down. I forgot to read the main point. Isaiah 14 verse 10. All they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? And that is the title of this video. Art thou become as weak as us? Because the other nations, they are seeing that, let me not say the other nations, but rather, the heathen and the people of this kingdom, right? The jakes that are in the world, because this is West Africa we're talking about. So the amount of people that are resisting the most are primarily Jake. And this is also showing you that, that lion is being roused up, right? Jake is being roused up to begin to the fight against Esau, Edom. And even in Babylon, the creature are saying the same thing. With the men of the Lord on the highways and byways, Jake is being emboldened and rising up against Esau, Edom. So now all these nations are saying the weakness of America, Babylon the Great, and also the weakness of NATO and the EU, which is the beast system, and they are rising up against it, right? And they are trying to break off from it. Like I want to say again, leading back to what I said before, that's why you have the BRICS nations, because basically the idea is to remove the dominance of the West from the world, and that's why they are all set up against this kingdom and against Esau, Edom, and NATO and the EU. Okay, so yeah, that was basically okay. Yes, I had what I was get right there. So yeah, the world is beginning to wake up to Esau, and the world is about to, and the world is beginning to wake up to Esau, Edom, right? And this devil is being rejected, being kicked out of place to place. And this reminds me of that precept in the book of Job, right? Behold, the nestles they braid. Let me see if I can find that precept. They that are younger than me have me in derision, whose flock I would have whose number I would have disdained to set among the foot of my flock, right? So this is the book of Job 30. And the main point I want to get is right here. Job 30 verse 7. Among the bushes they braid, under the nettles they were gathered together. They were children of fools, ye children of base men, they were viler than the earth. And now am I their song, ye am I their bywords. Oh, Salakia, I was supposed to go from the top, but even this piece right here is good as well, because this shows you that it is only a natural state for Esau to be rejected ever or whichever nation that he goes to. And that's why ultimately you always see these devils. Nobody has ever accepted Esau's occupation with open arms. They always eventually kick them out, right? There you see the case in point. The U.S. government had to be removed from Afghanistan. I believe it was Afghanistan that they were in, right? That they had to be removed from it after 20 years, right? And they were removed from Afghanistan, and then you have Esau basically being kicked out of all these different African nations, okay? Because they are devils, man, and the world is seeing Esau's operations and the seats that they get involved in, how they come into a nation, right? And you find that the state of that nation is worse than it was when before they met it. And then when they leave, the state of that nation becomes even worse because these devils just put up all kinds of destabilization projects on that nation to cause it to no longer grow, right? So now everybody is waking up to Esau's wickedness, and everybody is waking up to who the man of sin is, and that's why they are seeing this happen. Because hey, the most say how about Sham Yahshua is getting ready to rouse up Jake, okay? And that shows you that hey, things are moving forward in the spirit, and things are about to happen in the spirit. So let me get the main point right here. So this is the main points. Job 30, verse 5. They were driven from among men. They cried after them as after a thief, to dwell in the cliffs of the valleys, and in the caves of the earth, and in the rocks. Right. That's exactly where Esau Edom originates from, the Caucasus Mountains, right? As the scientists of Esau Edom claim. But you know that the origins of Esau, the so-called red man, is Mount Seir in Edom. Okay. And that was in Petra. Right. And you are seeing the same thing that the scripture just described. These devils being chased out from among men because all this, and it was done in succession, more or less, right? Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, Senegal, and then Chad, because they understand, right? These countries are beginning to understand that the armies of Esau Edom are not there for their benefit, but rather to maintain their oppression. So now, hey, the nations are mad, okay? The nations are mad. And let me see if I can get this article, because there was an article that came out recently about how basically France was sending poisoned food, right? Or rather, I forget how the article goes, but something that France was doing, sending poisoned food. Let me get that to Chad, okay? Let me see if I can find that. And this is how Esau operates, because America Babylon the Great was doing the same thing to Haiti. And and the same thing was going on with all these different mining companies in here West Africa, how they would basically destroy the land just in order to gain as much of those resources as possible, right? And you have the waters, and I forget which African country it was, but it was contaminated by uranium mines by the uranium mines. I believe it was one of these radioactive isotopes, right? Radioactive elements. And the water in that country was completely contaminated because it was completely defiled, right? It was completely undrinkable because it got contaminated with radiation, right? You go to here in Nigeria, you go to the Niger Delta region, it's completely destroyed because you have a company called Shell, which is a British petroleum company, big oil, that has basically completely destroyed that land in its quest to extract oil. Or how all these once again the mining companies, and how they destroyed a lot of the rivers here in West Africa because of their constant search for these resources, man. And this is how Esau destroys the earth through his greed. As like the scriptures say that the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushai will destroy the devil that destroyed the earth. And that's why the scriptures also say that Esau had turned the earth into a wilderness, that the whole earth is contaminated, because the inhabitants of the earth are contaminated because of Esau Edom and because of his wickedness. Let me see if I can find that news article. Let me see if I can find that news article. I'm not sure if I'm able to find this. I'm trying to find the keyword. I'm trying to find the keyword I can use in order to get it. But basically, what happened was Chad, and I'm saying Chad, I'm saying Chad. I don't think I even actually explained what the Chad is, right? But I think it should be clear in this video that the Chad is one of the is a country that is in Central Africa, okay, not in West Africa. So yeah, you see, so yeah, man, the nations, right, the people of this kingdom of this world are rejecting Esau Edom, right, and coming against him. So with that, let me end the video right there. Once again, all praises, honor, and glory unto the Most High, Yahweh Basham Yawashai, Basham Rakakwadash, Wa Abad Babal, and through the Spirit of you are can, and you are quite edified. Shalom.